Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and I wanted to do this little video sort of in reaction to the very sad news of the passing of Wes Craven, who gave us such film franchises as the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, as well as Scream franchise. And this was a guy who was a profound inspiration for me and has brought me many, many hours of entertainment value with my sis and I, both being big-time fans, lifelong fans practically of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And, he was somebody, a proponent of the idea that you could actually capture lightning in a bottle, not once, but twice, or three times fast, if you will, with the very first Nightmare on Elm Street, which spawned an entire franchise. But then he brought it all back with this hardcore, just, almost outdoing the original concept with Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And I have fond memories of that particular film and being really excited. They had put out like an anniversary magazine, Starlog or some other, celebrating the entirety of the Freddy Krueger franchise. And then of course with the Scream franchise that came later, he was able to bring about such success in the horror genre. And he was for a very long time, and is to this day, my kind of go-to guy, as far as being the one who has most resoundingly affected me in the horror genre. I'm not that big of a horror fan, but his works stand out from the crowd for me and are the ones that draw me in the most. As I say, with New Nightmare, I remember very vividly hanging around my front yard and some kids from down the street who were good friends. There was a girl who lived in the house who was very much into Freddy Krueger and everything, and we were talking for hours and hours at length and flipping through that magazine. I was talking about that commemorative magazine, just talking about all our fond memories, our favorite kills in the movie franchise, and how had we not had Wes Craven, we would have never gotten it to begin with. But then the idea that, in precursor to New Nightmare actually coming out, what we were hearing about it just sounded absolutely astounding. To break this ground of, all of a sudden this character, this horror icon was suddenly bleeding into the real world, and the just creative nature of that. And how Craven, I've heard through many interviews, he would take from his own nightmares and his own dreamscapes and everything, be able to utilize what he would experience within that realm and turn it into a fascinating story, which was the case with New Nightmare. And he even, appears in that film as himself, with Heather Langenkamp, the original, Nancy from the first actual Nightmare on Elm Street film. And it's this whole concept of Freddy Krueger's now breaking into reality because he realizes his time is cut short. And it was just with profound sadness that I read that headline today that Wes Craven's own life was cut short. Unfortunately, he succumbed to I don't know how long, but a battle with brain cancer. And I hate cancer. I wish we could find a cure for this son of a bitch already. It takes children. It affects so many. My grandmother succumbed to that. And it's heartbreaking to see, one amongst many in the last couple of years especially, who was a light and a beacon of creativity and inspiration, somebody to aspire toward in the creative output that this guy managed. And so yeah, my head hangs low today. Just somebody who was a profound inspiration has passed on, and moved me to want to talk about it a little bit, And all I can do is offer my sincerest condolences to his family, his friends, and his fans, of which I will always be one, for time innumerable. It's going to be bittersweet watching those Nightmare on Elm Street movies come October, which is a yearly sort of, tradition for my sis and I, knowing that he's no longer with us. And, yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Craven.